Hi, I'm Cassius Rodriguez Hayes, and welcome to the Deep Dive with Newport Beach Film Festival.
I hadn't heard of the Laemmle Theater chain. As soon as my wife and I moved here, it became second nature.
It was a family business from the beginning.
They're a little something like the American family farm.
I did grow up in a movie theater, and my mother did nurse me at the box office when she was, selling tickets.
Greg did not grow up planning on running Laemmle Theaters. He would have been a great rabbi. I know that for a fact.
My brother-in-law didn't want to come to America, and Kurt was convinced that the Nazis were coming.
In the 30s, my grandfather Max and his brother Kurt had a chance to get out of Germany because their father's first cousin was Carl Laemmle. Now, Carl was the founder of Universal Pictures.
It's a straight line from Carl running Universal to bringing Max and Kurt in to work with him to Max and Kurt starting Laemmle Theaters. There really has been a Laemmle in the film business ever since there has been a film business.
The theater business for a while just did nothing but make money.
This is the miracle of television.
The rise of television crippled Hollywood. Box office receipts took a nosedive.
Max and Kurt didn't take television seriously.
The other theaters had all closed during the early 50s when television hit.
There was a mission. Some call it the great art of the 20th century. The Laemmle Theaters have always been a bastion of that great art.
Max was the key person in making foreign language films available and accessible.
The French New Wave found its home here.
They show movies the AMC won't show. They take a chance on independent movies.
If you're from a place where there's no movie theater, the opportunity to see these films in a space like Laemmle becomes pretty monumental.
If you had the Museum of Modern Art leaving New York City, would New York City be the same? That's what it would be like if we lost the Laemmles.
We've been feeling the pressure of the streaming systems.
When I hear that someone's never seen a film of mine, but they're going to watch it on their laptop, I think, oh no, I want the full experience of seeing it up on the big screen.
If the film theaters disappear, the entire ecosystem is undermined.
Family got together and basically decided not to sell.
International public health emergency.
Movie theaters will be closed to the public.
You feel silly and stupid worrying about things like getting movie theaters open when everything else that's going on in our country is going on.
Will people want to go to theaters? Will they feel safe? Will enough people want to go in theaters to make the theatrical business still viable?
We're always going to want, in some level, that experience of sitting in that movie theater. We're going to believe that people are going to come back to that.
Today we're speaking with the director of Only in Theaters, Raphael Sbarge, and the CEO of Laemmle Theaters, Greg Laemmle. What sparked your interest in covering the story of the Laemmle family?
I'm an independent filmmaker, and as many filmmakers in Los Angeles know, if you want to show your movie, you generally want to show it at a Laemmle theater because it's they're some of the most friendly to filmmakers, but they're also just in terms of the kind of the quality of the exhibition is the best, and so I had reached out to the Laemmle Theaters and about a movie, and I got Greg Laemmle on the phone, and I found that sort of striking to have the man above the title, as it were, so available. And we had many dealings, but I had found him to be remarkably kind, and really the doors that he opened made such a difference to me, to my career. And what I discovered, of course, was that this was a story that had been told many, many times by many other filmmakers, that that the Laemmles indeed had been this multi-generational family business had been really committed to the art of film and filmmaking in Los Angeles, and had been this sort of transmission point for so many filmmakers, not just in Los Angeles, but really all over the world. They are, Max Laemmle, Greg's grandfather, is attributed with bringing foreign film to Los Angeles. Not a small thing when you think that that infiltrated and became a transmission point into all of the filmmakers at the time. And the fact is that they have really they are a family who has committed themselves to supporting artists. And that in itself seemed like a significant and important thing to kind of pay attention to. And so that's what drew me in.
And for Greg, so how did you feel when you were approached about making a film highlighting your family and the theater business?
Well, I was honored, first and foremost. I mean, but it's not the first time someone has said, especially a filmmaker, has said, "Gee, someone should make a documentary about the family and the business." This was the first time actually someone came and said, "I'm going to make, I want to make this film," and knowing Raphael's work prior to his involvement with Only in Theaters, I thought he was actually a really good choice for someone to tell the story.
What ultimately happened was that Greg really, as he said, sort of said, "Well, this is, come in," and he kind of opened his doors and really made so much available to us. Greg had no editorial control over this. Greg never saw the movie and didn't see the movie until the first time it was shown in front of an audience, which was pretty astounding. Really has been just steady and again, as is the Laemmle, I guess, family mission, has been astonishingly supportive in every form and fashion.
Yeah, well, touching on family, was there anything you hope that your film teaches about the Laemmle family specifically?
Look, I love that it shows that it is a family business. I mean, and we might be 80 plus years old as a business, but it's still owned and operated by the family.
What message do you hope your film conveys about the culture of cinema?
Well, I will take a swing at this, but I would encourage people to sort of come, because that is essentially maybe the essence of kind of what we get to. I mean, look, as I say, again, the thing that makes this both, I think, accessible to people. I mean, for cinephiles, it is a film that actually speaks to our love of cinema, to people, to just people outside of Hollywood. I believe that it also has a message, which is, again, what it's like to sort of maintain a family business and the complexities of it, particularly during challenging times. In terms of kind of the larger message, I mean, we speak to, and I think we're all aware of the fact is that these are difficult times for theater owners, and that was the case even before the shutdown and the pandemic. And we are, looking at, how, this is an ecosystem that is, you have a filmmaker, and then you have the people that fund the film, and then you've got the film that gets shown to the audience, and then, and then in this case, the exhibitors who then make that possible, that transaction. Many filmmakers I spoke to, and I certainly feel this way, a film doesn't feel like a film until it hits an audience, as it were. There's that moment, that sort of that breath that gets taken where an audience has the movie in that space, in a collective space. I don't care how many hard drives you have filled with how many movies, it still is, it just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like the rubber hits the road, as it were, until that moment. And so Greg and his family and these theaters across the country that really are committed to this idea of communal gathering to have an experience of a movie, it's not a small thing.
Was there any particular aspect of the business that you felt had to be included in the film?
Sort of understanding the way in which Laemmle Theaters has played a role by exhibiting films, has played a role in the creation of films. Filmmakers see movies and become inspired by those movies to go out and make movies themselves. And without that opportunity, I think the future of film becomes a very different future. And without that access to a broad variety of films, so that people can see films from other countries and other cultures, and start seeing that film is more than just Hollywood blockbusters.
And what do you believe is the most, for Raphael, what do you believe is the most inspiring aspect of the Laemmle family's story?
The aspect of being I want to say the intimacy and the caring and the attention and the sensitivity of working with the Laemmle family is so distinct. And to everyone I know who knows, who goes to the theater as an audience, but also then the filmmakers who have been so touched, as Greg has said, by what they've done, by not just a platform, but to elevate them. It's truly remarkable, and even more and more distinct in the world that we live in, where those things are maybe not considered. So that's there's so many things that I find moving, but certainly those two things are stand out.
All right, and then for my last question, has there been any specific screening or event that has been held at any of the Laemmle Theaters that either of you have the fondest memory of?
Well, I mean, look, there's nothing, for me, there's nothing greater than being in an auditorium with a group of people who are enjoying a great movie experience and knowing that I've helped make that happen.
I'm Cassius, and this has been The Deep Dive with the Newport Beach Film Festival. Tickets to the Newport Beach Film Festival are now on sale, so please join us this October to meet some of our featured filmmakers.